Hey everyone, welcome to week 8. Week 8, I think. Goodness gracious, I mean, time is just flying, motoring by. But here we are at week 8 of our 12 weeks of Christmas. Today I actually got my first Christmas gift order, but Amazon dropped it off. So thankfully there were no delays due to Canada Post. You know, Canada Post, I think the last time they went on strike, it was over Christmas too. So, I mean, they know what they're doing. But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. So, no complaints. I am really happy to be here with you inside on a nice, cool day. Car's all frosted over and just staying where it's staying. Thankfully, there's no snow to shovel yet. So, I don't know where you're watching from, but as you kind of come online, say hi, let me know that you're watching either live or watching the replay. Today we are going to make a really fun project, the Votive Candle Fun-Fold card. I was trying to remember. It's like a long tongue twister. And look, people, I think I kind of have some lighting figured out here. I think you might actually be able to see my desk a little bit. So I've been working on that, trying to figure it out, and I think I might have done it. But let me show you the 2 cards that I have made so far. Today we're going to make one that's just slightly different than this one, but very similar. So this was made with the Nests of Winter Suite. Of course, we've got these cute little birds, and I made a belly band here for this one. And then you open it up, and you end up with this little kind of box here with the vellum. And then you put your little candle in there. This is kind of a big votive, so I mean, the smaller one is fine. Obviously, this is just what we had at home. And then you've got this little candle box, and it's super, super cute. Super easy to make. You will be surprised when we put it together today, how quickly it comes together and how easy it is to make. I really like this one. This is one we're going to kind of replicate today with the full vellum. And then it's got, what is this called again? This is called the Graceful Greenery Vellum on it. So it's got like the pine leaves on there they've got a little bit of silver shimmer in them, but it's just really pretty and it works well with this kind of color. On this one, I did add some old olive panels that I embossed with the tree embossing folder. I can't remember what it's called, but you all know what I'm talking about here. Onto some Mossy Meadow cardstock. And then we've got our box here, our candle. So the thing about this though, it does get a little bit bulky with all of these layers in here to fold up. So I mean, you can just leave it as a regular card and that's fine too. I just really thought a belly band worked well in keeping it all kind of together. So one thing to remember when you make your cards, and we'll get started here in a minute, is just that as you're deciding which sort of bling or accessories you want to add to it, they need to be kind of flat. So these adhesive snowflakes work really well because you need to be able to pull your belly band over them. If you use some of our larger gems and embellishments, they're going to kind of get caught and you're not going to be able to get your band on and off. So the other one that I made here was this one with the Snowy Wonder bundle. I think it was called Snowy Wonder bundle. And the coordinating DSP. And so I love these little snow globes. So the snow globe was a little bit big on the designer series paper. These already were on there. I didn't stamp this. I just used the designer series paper. So I punched it out with my punch. I think I used a 2 3/8 punch. I think that's the one I used. Just to get it kind of the size that I wanted. And then I trimmed down the base of it as well. Added a little bit of ribbon, and again I added it to the belly band so we're not going to have any troubles getting it on and off, with a label here that just says Merry Christmas. And then this one, which just has some designer series paper from that same set on it, and I used the snow globe die to cut out the windows in this one. So you've got the snow globes, and then it's got also, I don't know if you can see it, it's sort of like it's out of that same vellum pack, the Graceful Greenery Vellum, and it sort of has kind of a white frosty look on it. So it creates kind of a frosted vellum over there. You, of course, could use regular vellum or any of our other specialty vellums, etc. as you go about. And I made a little stamping mistake there, but then Stamp Season's greeting. On this one, I put some white panels here for the writing. you could, if you didn't have anywhere to write, so on this one, I thought that the old olive was light enough that they could write something at the top here or here if you wanted to write a little sentiment. But if you want more room to write, I would just add a panel to the back of the card and do your writing on the back. So that's a good solution for using these two, just because inside is not your typical space when it comes to card giving. So if you really love to write a lot, then you're going to need to make some space for that, whether that's inside or on the back of your card. Okay, so we've got a couple of them here, but let's get to work and I'll show you how to put this together. It honestly is super easy. Oh, and before I forget, I have this here. We're kind of getting to last call. This is actually next weekend, November the 30th. We have Crafty Christmas. This is being held at the Fruitful Specialty Shop. It is only $20 to make 2 Christmas cards and get a treat from the shop. And they're always very generous with us. Chocolate covered fruit and all sorts of things that you are going to love. So the first session is next Saturday, November the 30th. So not as in this Saturday, but the next Saturday, November 30th at 3 o'clock. It's usually about an hour and a half if you're trying to gauge the amount of time that you need. And then we have one the following Sunday, December the 8th at 2 o'clock. So if either of those days work for you, you can call the shop at 502-5909. And that is here in Medicine Hat, Alberta, where I am located. And you can register through them. They take all the registrations and the money, and that's the way that we kind of have it set up with them. So look forward to seeing you there if I haven't had a chance to stamp with you, or I have had a chance to stamp with you before. So I guess on that note, I will just say, for those of you that may be new to my page, my name is Sarah Lynn Duque, and I am a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator that I've actually been with them for, I guess, 4 years this go around. I was also a Stampin' Up! Earlier when I had small kids, which was like 20 some years ago, or going on 20 years, I guess, was the last time that I was a demonstrator. Well, I guess probably 15 if you count this 4, but, and then found my way back once my kids had kind of grown, and really it was during COVID that I sort of decided to sort of get back into it, because everyone was just at home and lonely, so myself included. So anyways, that's kind of where I am. I'm located, like I said, in Canada, in Medicine Hat, Alberta, which is in southern Alberta, and we do virtual classes like this together, as well as you'll find stuff on my YouTube channel, and then we do have in-person classes as well. So if you're in the neighborhood, I would love to meet you and craft with you. Okay, so we need 1 piece of cardstock. We're going to use Old Olive today, so we're going to just change it just a little bit. It's going to be very similar, like I said, to the other one that we had, but we will just go with the 1 piece here. So this is your regular 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. We're going to cut it in half. So that measures at 4 1/4. And I love my, my stamp trimmer from Stampin' Up! Or my, paper trimmer, because it's just really easy to measure and to cut. And then you have your scoring blade as well. So we've got 2 pieces here. I've cut them both the same. We are going to, you can either score them with your paper trimmer, or if you don't have that, you can use a bone folder as well. And actually, I really prefer the bone folder for the vellum when we get to that point. But for now, we're going to just trim this, or not trim it. We're going to score it. So make sure you got your cutting blade out of the way. We're going to score 1 at 5 1/2. So this is just your regular card base, and we're going to set this one aside. Okay, the other one, we're going to do the same. We're going to, well, I'll walk you through it. So I guess we're going to score at 2 3/4. Okay, we're going to then score at 5 1/2, which is our center mark. And then we're going to score, we're going to bring out our little arm here, and we're going to score at 8 3/4. Okay, so basically we have got this kind of blocked off in quarters. So this is a half, and this is not right. So this is a half of this, and I did that not correctly because I can tell that's not right. Hold on, 5 and 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 1/4. No, it should be 8 3/4. So something's not quite right there. hold the fort. I'm going to just do it this way because I know what the measurement is. I'm going to turn around and measure it at 2 3/4 going this way. All right. Anyways, do it that way. Okay, 2 3/4 from both ends, 5 1/2 in the middle. I'm going to have to fix my math here somewhere. I got messed up there a little bit. And then I'm going to put my paper trimmer away. So this card here, we are going to use this center line as our point to figure out exactly where we need to cut this die. Okay, so this again is part of the Winterly Treetops dies, and we want to center this into our center panels here. And I'm just going to eyeball it. You could measure it absolutely if you wanted to make sure that it was 100% centered. I'm not that concerned about it. I'm going to just try to make sure that it's straight going each of the ways. And you can kind of see the two score lines there, so you can get a pretty good idea what center is. Okay, I'm going to just get myself some washi tape here to hold down my die. And I just like to kind of pat it off so it's not quite so sticky. Otherwise, sometimes it will pull up your paper when you take it off. Especially with these detail dies, I like to run them through twice to make sure, well, just to make it less work to get some of these detail pieces out. So if I have tape on there, sometimes it gets really pressed down. Okay, so let's bring out our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we need our plates, our number 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to put another 3 on top. And we're just going to feed this through. Okay, so we might rock a little bit here just for a second. Let me hold this. So we're going to go through. Everything is moving. Okay, once we get through, I'm going to just bring it back the other way, back where we started. So that's taking it through twice. All right. Now you would do the same thing if you wanted to use other dies. Like in the snowman one, I use the snow globes. So you're going to center those onto these 2 center panels and cut out your windows out of those 2 center panels. I considered tonight just actually making this whole piece vellum and seeing how that would work. Just having a full window without any cardstock and just having cardstock on the back. But I decided not to risk it. I might still try that. And I'd actually like to try one with some snowflakes as the windows. Just die cut some snowflakes into the center panels. Okay, so this is on here pretty good. So we're going to just have to be a little bit gentle with it. Because I don't want to tear my paper up. My card stuck up. On the other one, it didn't matter quite as much because I covered it with other pieces. Tonight I'm not planning on it, so... Okay, this one tore a little bit. Anyways, note to you, to find adhesive that there is Post-it note adhesive that works really well and doesn't tend to stick. This stuff, I do find that it rips a little bit. Okay, so we will just cover that up. But now it's just going to pop out really easily. You see, we put it through twice through our die cutting machine. And now this just comes out simple. So you could use this for another project, obviously, or as a stencil if you wanted to use it for, what do you call those? For blending brushes, yeah. The other thing you could do is just turn this over and you wouldn't see that. But I think it's kind of obvious which way is supposed to be the front. So I'm going to just leave it like this. And it's going to be fine. So I'm going to just finish poking out these few that didn't come out. So we have as much light as possible. I think that's all that we have left. Okay, let's get those out of the way. Okay, so now we have this, and we're going to attach our vellum to the back. So we're going to turn this over. I have the piece of vellum here. Let's make sure I'm in the actual camera here. And we're going to just attach our vellum to the back like this. So I find it easiest to use tear and tape. You're not going to see this, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to put a piece along the side as close to the window as we can. Okay. And then we are going to do this all the way around. So put one on the bottom here. And you just want to make sure that you're not going over your fold lines. Well, it wouldn't really matter on the back because this is going to get stuck down to your cardstock, but we want to try to keep it as close to our window as we can. All right, let's put one up here. And I am going to just get another little piece for here. Now remember, make sure that your tape is well like burnished to your cardstock, because it's just going to make it really easy to peel off. Otherwise, sometimes again, it's difficult to get that the backing off. But now we can just easily just kind of pull it up, and it's not going to stick, or it's less likely to stick, I should say. You know, the people with really nice nails, they can just wing this off. But I mean, some people use their take a pick tool, and I guess that's probably smart. I mean, I like to do things the hard way, so, you know. All right, before I stick all my vellum, though, I'm going to actually just take this and I'm going to fold it in half. So this is going to be folded kind of back on itself. And the reason I do this, I find if you use your paper trimmer, vellum tends to tear with your scoring blade, even if you're going to, you've got to be very gentle with it. So by folding this, I can now see sort of that I can line that up with the center line. Okay, the center fold. And just to make sure that I get it covered both ways. And then also, so that when I'm folding my cardstock after, when I go to fold my cardstock, my vellum is going to fold as well. If you don't fold this prior, you're likely to have this just kind of, like it's not going to kind of follow as easily there. So these two here are going to get folded this way, forward. Okay, we're going to fold these two pieces forward, just like so. Make sure they're straight, that you've done a good job scoring them. Give them a little bit of an extra burnishing here with our bone folder. And now we're going to just adhere this to our other piece. So this piece here, remember your mountain side of your score is actually the side that you fold in on. Okay, so we're going to fold that in. We are going to then, again, flip this back over, and you can do this all at once you figure out kind of the areas you need tear and tape on. You could use regular adhesive. I just think because this card's going to get open and played with quite a bit, the stronger the adhesive that you use, the better. So you could use your Stampin' Seal Plus, but tear and tape is generally what I have on hand. So that's what we're going to use here today. And we're going to just make sure we get enough adhesive on here to kind of hold this in place. Okay. Again, let's just make sure we've got this really well burnished. And don't worry if your tear and tape hangs over, it's not exactly where you want it, because watch this. You just tear this up, and then you can just fold that back on itself. It's sticky on both sides, so it's not like you're not going to have a sticky spot now, right? You still got stick there. So don't fret about that too much. Okay, you could put it along the tops and the bottoms if you wanted to as well, but I'm not going to do that here. So now our two folds are going to go opposite each other. So this one is in a valley, and this one is going to be in a mountain, right? Like the opposite folds. We're going to take these ends and we're going to just line them up. And I'm just going to kind of probably be out of camera here for a second so I can see what I'm doing a little bit. Because this is... And then you want to make sure that you get your sides kind of lined up too. Okay. Make sure everything is just nice and straight. And then the same with this end. We're going to go here. We're going to line up this end and make sure that we've got our paper sticking down straight. So now we've got both pieces stuck together, and you can see how they're basic. We're a little bit off right there, but we can trim that after. And now you've got the base of your card is complete. Okay. Now I'm going to just trim this before I get ahead of myself. This little part here. And I buried my scissors. So we're going to just trim this off, and you just turn your card over so you can see what you're doing. Follow the edge of your cardstock and just trim it off. And it's just kind of on this one end. Everything is fixable. So, you know, when things just aren't exactly perfect, don't fret. Everything is fixable, okay? Okay, so we're going to fold this the other way. We're going to go like this and just give everything a really nice fold. Okay, we're just going to make sure that everything is folded up really nice. So you can see now that we've burnished it really nicely, you know, you get a pretty decent fold on it, but I still feel like there's some room here to help it along. Okay, let's see if we can get that middle part in here burnished also. There we go. Okay, and that's that. So like on the other piece, and I still might add something on the inside here, one to cover up this score line and this little tear, but we will come back to that. Let's work on the front of our card. I'm just going to decide which way I want to have this. I think I want to have it this way. So this is going to be the front of our card. So we are going to do something similar to what we did last time, or to what I did last time. I'm going to take this piece of vellum. I'm going to attach it to the bottom here, and it's a little bit long. So let's just trim that off at 5.5. And I'm going to trim this way because this side has more greenery on it. Okay. Now, the one thing you have to be cognizant of with vellum is that you can see adhesive through it. So you want to try to add your adhesive behind where you've got the designs, or where you're going to cover it up with an embellishment or something of that nature. But I'm just going to actually just kind of dab little dots of glue, ideally, except this glue is not going to want to come out at the moment. I just don't want it to spray all over the place because then it's going to show through the vellum. There we go. Okay, we'll worry about that after. So we're going to add a little dot there, there, just wherever the designs are. We're going to just put little dots of glue, just like that. And that's going to be plenty to hold our vellum on. Okay. So let's take that and stick this here to the bottom of the card. Just like so. And on this card, I'm going to actually open it like this because there's so much bulk. I want to stamp on the front of the card. And I feel that because it's bulk, I'm not going to get a very good place to put my stamp. So I'm going to have this piece on here today for my belly band. It's a little bit different than the one I used last time, and I might trim it a little bit thinner. I think it's a little bit thick. Well, maybe, let's see. I might just trim this down just a tad. This one here I made a little bit bigger. I think I did it 1.5. And the last one I did was only 3/4 inches. I think I'm going to do maybe one, just trim this to 1.25. Trim this just a tiny bit. Now that I see it on my card, this is going to be our belly band. Okay, I'm just trying to eye where I want to stamp. So what I'm going to use to stamp today, as you know, the Nests of Winter stamp set, it doesn't have any Christmas. It has beautiful winter birds and trees, but it actually has thank you sentiments, etc. It doesn't have Christmas sentiments, but we are making Christmas cards here today. So we are going to pull out our Christmas label stamp set, and I'm just going to use the Be Merry stamp. You can see I have used mine a lot already. So I'm going to pull out the Be Merry stamp, and I'm going to use Mossy Meadow ink, and I'm just going to stamp that onto the card front. So I think my belly band will probably go around there. So I'm going to want my stamp right there. I feel like it's not very juicy. It is not. Look at this stamp pad. Is that not like well used or what? It's starting to just get
beat up. I think I may have to replace this one. So I'm gonna just try that again. Make sure we're gonna get a good stamp before I bother. This one definitely needs some re-inking. Okay, make sure we got some ink on there, and we're gonna just put the Be Merry right there. Okay, so now we've done that. You could use the same, like tone on tone. You could use Old Olive on there as well, and it would be fine. I just used a little bit of a darker green. Okay, so this is going to be our belly band. So when you make your belly band, it's really important to actually put it around your card. So we're going to hide the seam of the belly band behind the circle, behind this circle that I already cut out of the stylish shapes. You want to make sure you leave this a little bit kind of loose so that you can get it on and off. If you put it too tight, you're going to have a hard time getting it on and off. So you could use liquid adhesive, or you can use tear and tape. I'm just going to use this liquid adhesive because I have it right here right now. Liquid adhesive is really strong. It just takes a second to dry. So if that's your choice for adhesive, that's fine. Just remember that you need to give it a moment to dry. I'm going to actually take it off of here because I can see I already got some glue, so that it doesn't accidentally stick to the card. Okay, so while this is drying, let's go ahead and make our focal point. I cut out a circle. I think this is the second largest circle in the Stylish Shapes die. I cut that out of Mossy Meadow. So this is just basically the opposite of this card. And then I put some designer series paper on here instead of the crumb cake. So lots of options to play with. I cut out a couple birds because I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do with this yet. So let's see if we have this on here. I mean, that might just be enough, that one bird. I think that might be enough. If I put this guy up here, I think we're starting to make a mess. So I think I'm just going to put this one bird on here. All right, and I'm going to actually just stick this little guy on with glue because he's going to be moving around a lot. I don't want to, again, I just want him to stay where I want him to stay, which is going to be down here. All right, let's just move this over just a tad. And I just fussy cut this out of the designer series paper, the Nests of Winter. I did that beforehand just so you guys didn't have to sit here and watch me fussy cut these birds out, because I like to get a nice, like really get in between the branches when I'm doing this. So we're going to put that down like that. And then this is going to go on our belly band. Okay, so I'm going to put the belly band on just so that I make sure I get it exactly where I want it. I'm going to adhere it to the belly band with some dimensionals. Dimensionals are just nice and stiff, and they give a little bit of room for the movement of the belly band. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually stick the dimensionals onto the belly band. Shoot, I forgot I had glue on here from the exploding glue. Now I stuck my thumb in it. Okay, so we're going to go like that and try to clean this glue off. Should really get like a mini garbage can or something on my desk. I just have random dimensional covers and tear and tape covers all over the place when I'm done crafting here with you guys. I mean, at least it looks like I have been busy. Okay, so let's just put this how we want it. I think I'm going to put them a little bit like so. What do you think? Yeah? I think. Now, I had a couple of options here of things that we could use to dress this up a little bit. And I have some of these rustic metallic dots. I think they look so nice with kind of the greens and browns, this type of look. Rather than some of the bling. So I think I might use that. And then I've also got some linen thread, which I don't know if I'm going to use that or not. Again, when we're adding all of these pieces, I am adding them to my actual belly band pieces. I'm not putting them on my card because these are larger embellishments and I don't want them to get in the way of the belly band. Okay, well that was just rather Aggressive of me. I didn't really think this through. I just threw them down. It really doesn't matter that much, but usually I like to think this through a little bit. So what am I going to do with this little guy? Normally I would put him off, but because, like I said, we're not doing that. Maybe I'll put him down here, like off on the belly band. What do you think? Maybe I'll stick it over there. There we go. Okay, I think I might put a dimensional underneath of that leaf there because it's kind of flopping around a little bit there, but it's quite a big piece of paper that could actually use its own dimensional. That's just going to give it a little bit more stability there. All right. Okay, so we've got a belly band. Do we want to add some linen thread? I'm going to just give it a go and then we'll see what it looks like. So the linen thread, when I use it, I like to just run my thumb along it a little bit to straighten it out before I tie. Otherwise, sometimes it's a little difficult to tie. And then I'm going to tie it in a bow. Don't worry about the size of your bow at this point. Okay, we're going to just get it tied. And then you can pull the ends to the size that you think you want. Okay? And then give it a cut. And make sure that you have enough of the linen thread or ribbon or whatever you're cutting before you cut it off. I just think that I'm either going to have to double this up or just get rid of it because you can't see it very much. Like, it doesn't really add anything to the card, so I'm not sure why we would put that on there. I mean, maybe it looks better on this side. It might look okay on that side with a little bit of a tail there. Okay, let's do that then. I don't mind that at all. Okay, I'm going to grab my glue dots to adhere my ribbon here. So at our house, we have cats, in case this is your first time here watching, or at my house. And so everything is hidden and everything is put away. So often I'm here grabbing stuff as we go because otherwise my cats, you'll have to go back and watch the videos. There have been a number of sick cats episodes with cats eating things they shouldn't eat and getting into stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna stick this behind this piece of branch there. Come on. And then I'm just going to keep these ends loose like that. That's kind of cute. Anyway, so what I was trying to say is you'll probably see me just randomly grabbing things throughout my videos because they're always tucked away in drawers, but at least it's all close. I like that. So let's just take a look at kind of the differences here between the two. So this one had the snowflakes, and because they were flat, I could put them onto the actual card front, which I do like. And then emboss the Be Merry, which I also like. But this is just kind of a little bit of a warmer card, which I think is really beautiful. I think it's stunning. Okay, so let's go back to that inside of this card. I just want to see what we can do on the sides here. So we could put just some designer series paper here from the pack. We could also use some of the Vellum here and put it on there, and then I would recommend maybe just adding on the back a piece to write on. So I don't know about that. What do you think? I mean, it kind of looks like, I bet you I cut that right off the end of that. Kind of looks like it belongs there. And then I tried doing different on either side, and I didn't really like it when it was displayed. I kind of prefer to have it the same on both sides. So I think I will do that. The other option is just to put a white vellum, but let's not do that. Or, like I said, we could use some of this designer series paper that we use for our belly band. But then you can't really write, you could write on it. You can't really write on it because it's white, but it doesn't really kind of blend into the background. Let's stick with the vellum. We're going back to the vellum, people. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this again. Our panels are 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So we are going to cut these at 2 1/2 by 4. Right, so layers, the easy way to layer is to cut 1/4 inch off of each, the top and the sides when you're adding your when you're moving up or down, when you're moving down a layer. So each layer is going to have an additional 1/4 inch creating that border. Then it just makes it easy to decide what you want to do. Now remember, yeah, I think that's going to be okay. We need to add our adhesive behind our designs here. So we're going to do the same thing. And remember, everything that you add inside, the reason I'm not adding any embellishments or any more sentiments and pieces, because you know me, I would really like to, is because it just adds more bulk inside of here when you're trying to close it. The other thing I think would look really nice on this one, because you've got all these pine trees, is adding that embossing paste on there on the ends of your leaves. I think that would be gorgeous. So if you if you're new to embossing paste or you don't know what I'm referring to, go back and watch the other Nests of Winter bird card video that I did, and we learned how to use embossing paste. And so go back and do that. This way. That's how it looked like it fit in there. So let's go back and do that. Okay. I think that's nice. What do you think? And then you're going to stand it up like this and have our candle in here. Now this is like a fancy votive. It even has like a remote control with it. It came in like a set of 3 from Winners or Marshalls of various heights. I think this is actually maybe the medium height one, but I don't know where the little one is. So, but it's super cute. Super, super adorable. I actually think that looks really nice. Okay, I'm glad we went back and did that. All right, let's put our cards together and take one last look. Any questions, just stick them in the comments and I'll make sure that I reply to them. I do have a project sheet again for you today, but like last week, I want to make sure that I add the link to the video to that. So once our video is uploaded and complete, I will add the link to the project sheet and then post that here for you as well as on YouTube. So please feel free to download that. We have one for the last couple weeks as well that are saved for you. So go back and watch those videos and download the project sheets. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you'll make it. It was like super, super easy. I hope that you see how easy it is. Sometimes we think these like kind of specialty cards or fun-fold cards are really tricky. Hardly any supplies, very easy to make. You could make this in your sleep probably. So I hope you will go ahead and give it a try. If you have any questions or problems, please just reach out. Happy to help you anytime. And again, thank you for coming and joining me here on Sarah Lynn Stamps. And I will see you back here next week on Wednesday for our 9th week of the 12th week of Christmas. So we will see you then. Have a wonderful week. Bye.